Hi, everyone, and welcome to Living Hypnotically, where we explore the benefits and application of hypnosis with professional hypnotists. I am your host, Erika Flint, professional hypnotherapy instructor and board certified hypnotist. And today we've got the amazing Dana Atwood. So let me introduce her. From a lifetime of personal experience with anxiety and depression came a calling for her to help others in their own hope-seeking journey. From the age of 10, she struggled with feelings of self-worth and ideation. And some of these thoughts were brought on by tumultuous childhood and stuck with her, creating a pattern of facing life's struggles with hopelessness and disconnection. After years in and out of therapy, alternative treatments, including some abroad as well as medication, she found hypnosis. And when she found hypnosis, she found relief. Finally. So thank you, Dana. Dana took our hypnosis certification training course in 2022, a couple of years ago, and she's been helping people ever since. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here. Like I mentioned before, this is the highlight of my week, at least my week. I'm just really excited. First of all, to see you again, because it's been a while, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
look
And I
great.
was mentioning how amazing it is that this is the highlight because you tend to travel the world doing amazing things. You were recently in Egypt, it sounds like.
I
Very
was. And
good.
yeah, part of that was actually like living hypnotically. I was trying to just do some spiritual connecting too while I was there. It was
Okay.
pretty intense.
Good, good. Well, let's talk about your journey becoming a hypnotist. This introduction is pretty intense. And I think, as intense it is, it's also very common that we have experiences when we're younger, we get disconnected and we feel lost. We mumble around for a while. So tell us, how did that roll out for you?
I'm so glad you said those 2 things. First of all,
Mhm.
you gave it that you validated that it was intense because it was intense. Like the whole my like my MO, my life, it's intense. And then also it's common. And I think a lot of people feel like they're so far gone and unreached. Oh, I've tried everything. So I'm glad you
Yeah.
mentioned those 2 things. But yeah, you name it, I have tried it. I've done
Mhm.
it all. Even EMDR. I did alternative stuff in Thailand. I've taken medications. I've done group. I've done now the group was helpful. I'm gonna say group because why do we need connection? And that was something I
We
was
do. We
missing
need each
was
other.
connection.
Mhm.
So that in fact, that's why I'm starting a group actually that
Mhm.
my clients can join to support their journey
Excellent.
because group is helpful. But as far as some shifting your belief system, none of those did that. None of those did that. Taking a pill, and I'm not against using various tools that you need to survive and hopefully ultimately move into thrive.
Mhm.
There's a place for everything, but that pill's not gonna shift your mindset. And I needed
Right.
like overhaul. I needed to feel hopeful. And a lot of these things, while they might be keeping you alive in your times of despair, they're not actually like adding the hope aspect. You know what I mean?
They're really just keeping you alive. You're just treading water. You don't feel like there's a real reason to live. You're not inspired. You're not happy. You're
Right.
just, it's the hamster wheel type of a thing. So,
Absolutely.
what did hypnosis, how is hypnosis different? What really shifted for you? Do you remember the moment when things started changing?
Yeah. For step one, I actually needed to get back in my own body. Once I was able to do that, now I can be present for something like hypnosis. So the moment it changed, I just watched this masterclass thing online. The algorithms of the universe like sent
Yeah.
me this thing and I didn't even like buy the program. Just the masterclass changed my life right then
Mhm.
and there. I actually was still living in a toxic environment. Right
Mhm.
before I met you, I found hypnosis. I was already healing. I was
Yep.
already doing hypnosis. I was actually
Yep.
already had my practice when I met you. And then
Mhm.
as you become a hypnotist, your own healing continues, as we hypnotists know. And so your vision, like your self vision and your spiritual vision becomes clearer. And I was
Mhm.
able to uncover what was actually still toxic in my own life. I couldn't do that before.
We get blinded sometimes, whether we're in denial
Mm,
or maybe we're in such a deep state of denial that we aren't conscious of it. We
yeah.
aren't, right? And so now you became, and some people would call this is us emerging or awakening or becoming more conscious. We start to notice these things that have always been true in our own life. And whoa, how could I not notice that before?
That
But you're right.
Okay, right there, I wanna pause what you just said. You said, "How did I not notice that?" Now, this is a critical part in your journey, right? The second you say that, "How did I not?" Okay, our tendency is to say like, "Oh, you idiot, how'd you miss that? How that" this is when you need all the self-compassion. You need to throw all the compassion at yourself.
Exactly.
And this is what we get to do with clients. When
Mhm.
they come in and they have these aha moments, we get to pause them right there, right? And we get to show them, okay, I know that's surprising and it's hard and you're bewildered that you didn't see that in your life, but now here's where we are going to offer a lot of compassion. And also,
Right.
look, people, I've been doing this a few years now. I'm a professional and I experienced this. I'm certainly not
Mhm.
stupid, I assure you. And I didn't see it. So it's
Right.
not, again, common issues, common struggles.
Yep. And a common thought is, how come I didn't see it before? How come I didn't make the changes before? Oh, how come other people are able to fall asleep? How come other people are able to have 2 beers and if I have one, I'm going to have 20, right? So a lot of our clients have significant self-doubt in their own capabilities and are comparing themselves to themselves or to other things when exactly what you're saying. In fact, there is some element of now the lights have been turned on. Now you can see, now you can notice. It wasn't your fault before. You had other things that your mind was paying attention to. This is the way that brains work. There's nothing wrong with you.
And there never was. And I like to say,
Exactly.
let's replace that judgment with curiosity. Let's just be
Absolutely.
curious about it. I'm
And
curious.
I think it's just a common response from the mind. And so I do want to help my clients entertain and unravel this element where they block their own progress by thinking, I should have been able to do this faster, or easier, or better, or something. So there's like this self deprecating element to it. Whereas, in fact, and the technique that I use for this is called celebrate awareness. Just celebrate that you're aware of it. Doesn't matter if you think you should have been aware of it before. That's not how we want to think about it. You just celebrate the awareness now. And when we can really get good at that, it's like the curiosity. I like to pretend like I'm in kindergarten again, all over, everywhere. I'm just learning,
Oh,
right?
I love that.
Tell us one of your client stories who's doing really well.
I want to, we're going to get, it's going to get a little fun now. So I got the client's permission to share this story. The client came in and the specific issue was wanting to dream. The
Okay.
client had no dreams, like at night, like they went to sleep. They woke up, they couldn't recall any dreams, and it'd been like this for over a decade. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I can help a person dream. Like this is this might be out of my scope. So I'm not a hard seller. I just connect with people and if it's a fit, we go forward. And I just told this person, I said, look, I know hypnosis can help you in some of these things, but as far as like the specific issue, I have no idea. I was like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I got to be honest. I'm not sure about this one. But they come in and we're working on stuff. And every week they're like, oh my gosh, this is just helping me so much. There's like the confidence stuff, the um, thinking more clearly. And I'm like, great, great, great. And then finally I said, okay, what about the dreams? And he goes, oh, didn't I tell you? And I'm like, no. He goes, oh, I started dreaming the first week. The first week and you didn't tell me?
That is super interesting. They probably either assumed they told you or like it was so obvious. It's like, it seems like, of course, they would tell you. I started dreaming again, right?
Like, what? You told me that the first week. But yeah, exactly. You probably thought, oh, it's so obvious. Of course, we came in to fix the dreams. You fix the dream.
Right. And now we just continue.
And so you don't assume what your client's thinking or feeling ever. If you need to know,
Right.
you just ask them.
And normally we'll use like the benefits form, or we'll have what we call like the outcomes form, right? And I like reviewing that with my clients at the beginning of every session to just remind them, because sometimes they've gotten a lot of results and they forgot. Like they're like, oh gosh, Eric, I forgot that I was trying to sleep better. I've slept better for weeks. And they have it on their outcomes list, but because it has been working, they discount, right? They discount their progress at times. And so this to me is kind of like he blew through the finish line. Like he's just like, oh, that was so easy, and just kept going,
I'm
right?
so glad I did this.
What would you want to say to your clients out there, or somebody listening, considering hypnosis? What do you want everybody to know?
I desperately want everyone to know that whoever you are, whatever you're going through right now, you are not too far gone. There's no too
Thank
much.
you.
You're just not. And I thought that for a long time. I thought I was just too far. You are not too far gone. There are things you can do, even if you think you've tried everything in the world under the sun. I don't care. Try hypnosis, please.
Try hypnosis.
Come see me. Come see anyone. Just try hypnosis, please. Give it a shot with someone compassionate. So you can make sure you connect to your hypnotist, whoever you
Right.
call. Just make sure there's a good connection. You'll know.
And that's why most hypnotists are going to have a consultation, right? So that
Absolutely.
you can talk to the person and really see if there is that connection there.
I,
Our clients, we have learned how to protect ourselves. And a lot of it is decades of self-protection and self-preservation. And so many people don't even realize what they are holding. And the words that you were using, you got to release and allow us to get into the deeper parts of the heart and mind. And so one way to think about that is resistance. Like, what are you pushing up against? What are you resisting in your life? Because if you're not getting results, it's very likely whatever it is that you're resisting, there's some answer there for you, right? We have a lot of our clients that have been walking around in some level of unhappiness, anxiety, people pleasing, really, really angry about things that have transpired in their life, and rightly so. Righteous anger. All of these things, you do not need to continue to struggle with deep feelings inside that are painful. And the only solution is not outside of you. The only solution is inward. So anything outside of you is never going to take you all the way home, ever. And hypnosis unlocks that key to take you all the way home. And that's what happened to you, Dana. And that's what you did for yourself. And that's what you are doing every time that you help people. You are giving them the key to unlock their own peace, their own happiness. And that's going within. It's going within and having the courage to do so. And so there's a lot of ways to describe hypnosis, right? But I think the most important thing to consider is that we are really tapping into the deeper part of us. And we're unlocking information that's already inside of us. It's not outside of us. And so the experience can be peaceful and insightful, but it's definitely a homecoming.
as a millennial, I like to
Mhm.
say, did you ever watch The Magic School Bus as a kid with Miss Frizzle?
I know what it is, but I don't think I watched it. Yeah.
Sometimes I like to compare it to there's this episode of the Magic School Bus where they go
Mhm.
inside one of the students' bodies in the bus. we're just going in. It's like Mrs. Frizzle's Magic School Bus. We're going
Yeah.
inside and we're just looking around and learning, seeing what there is to see. And
Yeah.
then you can go find what you need, unblock what you need to unblock.
And so I want to ask you to share that other technique that you did earlier with me today. Can you
Oh,
share that one?
oh, I love that one. So,
Mm-hmm.
in some of the sessions, we're bound to go in and address inner child things, right? Things
Yeah.
that happen to the
Yeah.
child self that are still hurting. When something happens to you as a kid, or really at any point in your life, I feel like that there's a little part of you that just freezes right there, right? Inside each and every one of us is just like thousands of versions of younger us, right? All in there. And if one of those didn't get something they needed or experienced a trauma and then didn't get what they needed to process it, then they're in there. They're in there
Yeah.
and they are having a say in how you respond to things
Yep.
and how you're living your life, the habits you have. They're putting in their 2 cents. Okay. You're getting some to a 6-year-old, from a 10-year-old, from a 14-year-old. You're getting that. And so we go back and we address those things and then we start processing things. But then when we've given the child self the attention that they needed, I have my client in hypnosis, I have them physically hug themselves.
Okay.
And when they've done that for a moment, then I just have them move just one hand over the heart. So one hand over your heart, and you're breathing deeply. You're in hypnosis, feeling like you just let a lot go, hand over the heart. And now I tell them, this is now a tool that you get to take with you every day. You don't have to be in here every day you're living your life. You now have this tool with you. Anytime that, depending on who it was, 14-year-old you, 6-year-old you needs your attention, anytime they need your attention, you just put your hand on your heart. And that's how you're going to
Mm,
acknowledge them and let them know that you're there. So
beautiful.
it doesn't matter what you do. You could be in the grocery store line. Okay. You can be in
Yep.
line at the grocery store. You put your hand on your heart.
And the beautiful message that goes with it, right? You're connecting with what I would say my little one. I'm connecting with my little one.
Love
Little
that.
Erica is in there stomping around wanting something. Okay, let me pay attention to what's going on here. And we also know from neuroscience that this type of move also releases or generates oxytocin in the body, which is the hugging hormone, right? So we're going to hug other people and we get that good feeling. Well, we can do that for ourselves just by putting your hand just right here, like you said.
Well, a
So
huge
good
piece
job.
of hypnosis is teaching people things they can do to self-soothe and self-regulate that are
Yeah.
healthy, right? And so it's nice to hug other people, and I encourage people to build a community and surround themselves with love. But a lot of times you need to do it for yourself, because if you're always looking outside yourself for the love, attention, and validation, we're all
Yep.
humans. Hey, we're going to disappoint each other. So
That's true.
learn how to do it yourself so that in those gaps, you can always give it to yourself. Always.
That's right. Love that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dana. So true, so wise. And it's clear just from looking at you and hearing you speak how beautiful your work is, because your energy and your love and your heart and everything is just in alignment and connected. It's just really, really obvious. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for the love and light and energy that you bring to the world and the ability to teach and give people tools to pause. How can people connect with you?
Yeah. Well, before I said, I just also wanted to say, I'm glad you're doing this podcast, Erica, because
Mhm.
there's not enough information out there. There's not enough, people don't understand how within reach this stuff is. And you're changing that, and I really appreciate it. So
Well, thank you.
you're welcome. You can reach me. The best thing to do is go to my website, www.atwoodhypnosis.com, schedule a consultation. Right now, I put a group together. We're going to do group meetings, and it's extremely accessible. When I say accessible, extremely. So this group meeting
And that's
says,
important. We need things to be convenient, right? We
yeah,
need things to be easy for people to attend. That's why people are eating fast food. That's why they're drinking and smoking, because it's easy. It's on every corner. It's an easy coping strategy. So we want to make something that's good for you just as easy, right?
yeah, it is a Zoom. It's in the evening. It's 3 times a week, and it's really not expensive at all. And this is going to
Okay.
build the
And they can
foundation.
find that out at
Yeah,
atwoodhypnosis.com.
it's in the scheduling. So you click
Okay.
scheduling and it's adult peer group. So do that, schedule a consultation, and then we can deepen the individual work. If you just want to follow me around on social media, I'm on Instagram.
Mhm.
Atwood.hypnosis is the only handle with a dot. It's
Okay.
Atwood.hypnosis on Instagram. I got a Facebook. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook. It's mostly Instagram and now TikTok. I just started TikTok. The kids got me into
Okay.
it. So I got TikTok. And a lot of these tools, actually, I've been sharing grounding tools on there. So you know what? Look at that. You don't even just go to my TikTok. Just start there and see the videos. They're like
Okay.
3-minute videos. And this is a great grounding technique. Go use it.
And how are you living hypnotically?
Oh my gosh. So I living in the very fast-paced real world that I live in, I have to say, I tend to do everything in waves. I even work in waves. I actually work in cycles, right? I go like 10 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and it seems like that really works for me. So
Hmm.
some waves, I'm really good at doing stuff every day. Some waves, I'm not as good. So what I've learned about myself is that if I really want to make sure I'm putting in time for myself, it's I need to schedule it. That's just
Yeah.
my reality. And so I do a lot of yoga because it's scheduled. I do
Yeah.
acupuncture, it's scheduled. And then the more I
Mm.
do those things, the more I find myself naturally every day taking a moment and noticing my breath
Good
and
job.
like smelling my coffee deeply. Not everybody thinks to do 5 minutes of whatever every day. So if you can figure a way out to structure it into your schedule, then that is a practice, right? And then over time, it is going to integrate into your life. So the more I schedule the practice in the yoga and the more I schedule the acupuncture, the more this does leak into the rest of my life. I think people set these expectations for themselves. Oh, I'm going to walk every single day for an hour. And here's the thing, if you have a gym membership that's 24/7, you go never. If you have a class at 8 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you go at
Yeah.
8 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then as you get
That's right.
stronger, you might go hiking with your friends.
Right.
You might try a rock climbing gym. It's going to start moving into the rest of your life.
Well, that's what
It-
we need to do.
yeah,
Self-care and these types of things are always an afterthought or often an afterthought, or I got to take care of the
totally.
kids. I got to run this around. All these other things are more important. And then we get worn down and then we're not as good of a friend or a mom or a partner or whatever. Why? Because we've given ourselves the story that it's better for us to run around crazy than it is to stop. Model good self-care for ourselves, our kids, our family. Put things on the calendar that we care about.
And
I call this time boxing.
isn't it funny how
Yeah,
that works? That we say, oh, but I'm doing what I'm supposed, I'm doing the righteous thing by just giving all of myself to my family and my work and that. But the truth is, you're not giving your best version to like any of it now because you're so drained and
exactly.
depleted. And you don't get a superhero medal for that. I'm sorry. Just go take care of yourself.
And I've got a lot of clients that now that I'm thinking about this is a primary issue because they feel bad. They're trying to juggle their family and do everything that they think that their family needs, but the reality is they're not doing anything for themselves. So their kids are getting the worst version of mom, and they're sitting in my office in my chair saying, "I wish I could have done better for my kids." And the truth is, they're people pleasing and overdoing it. It's not that they're not doing anything. So there's an added layer of frustration on top of all of this, which is like, but look at what all of I've done. Look at all of this work and look at all of this effort. And so now on the flip side, what a lot of family and kids and people really want is just you, right? Not all that extra work, not all of those expectations that a lot of our clients are feeling like they are having to do. And I see a lot of clients saying no, right? So you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to everything else. And so one huge, I think, win I see a lot of people adopting, not just my clients, but across the board, is really saying no and not overcommitting to things so that they can put things on their calendar that aren't just good for them, they're an investment. You going to acupuncture and massage or yoga is in part an investment because the stretching and all of these good things that are happening are an investment in your future, right? Some people will just check out, right? They just want to escape. And so they'll go drink or smoke. But if we can do something that ultimately is self-care, that is ultimately good for us, that investment, we're planting a seed, we're going to reap what we sow. It's different than just going having some drinks or getting too stressed. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us. I want to invite you to our next hypnosis certification training course, which is in July. Please grab our new guidebook. It is at cascadehypnosistraining.com/guide. And the guide is here to guide you to becoming a professional hypnotist like Dana and helping people with really hard things, taking what she learned in class and other classes that she's taken, but really adopting it to practice that she loves, right? And this is something that you've turned into your own thing. So you put your heart and soul into it, and now you're helping people do hard things.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. I'm Erika Flint, and this is Living Hypnotically. Bye for now. See you in the next episode.